Good morning, students. Today we are going to make revision of our chapter first. The chapter is sentence. What sentence? Dear student, title of chapter is sentence. As we know that define of sentence, a group of words which conveys the complete meaning is called sentence. Otherwise, a group of words which make complete sense is called sentence. Dear student, I am telling you that just like Rina cooks food. This is a sentence because this is group of words. Rina cooks food. It is a group of words which makes complete sense is called sentence. If I write here food, Rina cooks. This is also a group of words, but it doesn't convey a complete meaning, so it is not a sentence. A group of words which conveys complete sense, complete meaning is called sentence. Dear student, I hope you have understood very well about the sentence. Now we are going to study about a phrase. What phrase? What is phrase? I am telling you a group of words that conveys some sense but not complete sense. A group of words, they say they convey sense but not complete sense. Just like because he was punished. This is a phrase. Why? Because he was punished. We don't know about the main reason why he was punished. We have known that because he was punished. Now we want to know about the reason why he was punished. So phrase is a group of words which gives sense but not complete sense. It is called phrase. What phrase? What is it called? Phrase. Next is a clause. All are parts of sentence. Clause. A group of words that conveys some sense but not complete sense also has a subject and verb are called clauses. What are called clauses? Just like in a sentence we can take although he was unwell. Although he was unwell. Dear student, try to understand that. Although as a conjunction, he as a subject, was a verb, unwell as we can say noun. So although he was unwell, it is a group of sentence. It is a group of words which make complete sense but not complete, but it has a subject, verb, object, etc. are called clause. In this there are main two kinds of clause: subordinating clause and principal clause. Principal clause, otherwise we can say main or independent clause, and second is supporting clause kinds. Main clause, otherwise we can say dependent clause. What? Dependent clause. First is main, second is dependent. This is main is called independent clause. What? It is called independent clause. Independent clause. Main or independent clause, that is depend or subordinating clause. Subordinating clause. I hope you have understood very well about the subordinating or main. Main principal clause means it is independent. It has no require any other clause to complete its sentence. Main or independent or principal clause is that type clause which there is no need to any clause to complete its meaning. So it is called independent. Second is dependent subordinating clause. It is a part of clause which needs another clause to complete its meaning. It are called what? Dependent clause. What? Dependent clause. Thus, dear student, I hope you have understood very well about the sentence, about phrase. Sentence, a group of word which makes complete sense is called sentence. Phrase, a group of word which has sense of its but not complete sense is called phrase. Clause, a group of word which gives complete sense and also it has its subject, verb, object, etc. are called clause. There are main two kinds of clause. First is main clause or independent clause. Second is dependent clause or subordinating clause. In main or independent clause, dear student, we will get a clause which there is no need to any other clause to complete its meaning. It alone gives its complete meaning. Second is dependent clause or subordinating clause, is that type clause which is need any other clause to complete its meaning. Means it alone can't give complete meaning, so it is called dependent or subordinating clause. Means this kind of clause depend on the main clause to complete its meaning. I hope you have understood very well, dear student. Through this, dear student, now just like if you help me, I'm telling you, if you help me, this is a clause because subject, verb, object, but what kind? Dependent. If you help me, then we have to add a principal clause. If you help me, I will complete my work. I will complete my work. Complete my work. It is a dependent clause which I need to complete any other sentence. Okay, dear. I hope you have understood very well about the clause, phrase, sentences. Now we are going to take about the kinds of sentences. Kinds of sentences according to function. According to function. Kinds of sentences according to function. According to function, there are main 5 kinds. How many kinds? 5. First is declarative sentence. What kind sentence? Declarative. I want to clear that, dear student. Declarative sentence are called assertive or statement sentence. It conveys state, means it shows the state, and we can say it starts with subject and finishes with full stop. And there are 2 kinds of declarative sentence. First is positive, in which there is no need, no not. Okay, dear students. Second is negative, in which you will get not, no, never, etc. These both of are called declarative sentence. Second is interrogative sentence. What kind sentence? Interrogative sentence. We have discussed that the sentence which is used to ask questions. The sentences which is used to ask a question and they always finished ends with question mark. These are called interrogative sentences. Who are you? Where do you live? Who is your friend? Etc. Third is imperative sentences. What kind sentences, dear? Imperative. Imperative sentences are used to command, used to forbid, used to request. So we will call this kind sentence imperative. This kind sentences mostly begins with first form of verb, begins with don't, and it has please or kindly in the sentences. Just like open the gate. Open the gate is an imperative sentence because it has started with first form of verb. Otherwise, don't pluck flowers. Don't pluck flowers. These are called, these kind sentences or also what? Imperative, because it has been started with don't. Otherwise, help me please. Help me please. These kind sentences are also called imperative because it has please or kindly in the sentence. Thus we have discussed about the imperative sentence. Fourth is exclamatory sentence. What? Exclamatory sentence. Dear, exclamatory sentence has exclamation mark just after the exclamation word. Hurrah, wow, well done, alas, ouch, okay, etc. Otherwise at the end of sentence. What a beautiful car it is, at last question mark. Just like alas, he is no more, alas, he is no more. Thus dear student, this is an example of exclamatory sentence. Now at last we are talking about fifth is optative sentence. What kind sentence? Optative sentence. In optative sentence, first of all, these kind sentences are used to express bless, curse, wish, etc. And these kind sentences mostly start with may and finishes with exclamation mark. These kind sentences mostly start with may and finishes with exclamation mark. So these kind sentences are part of exclamatory sentences, but mainly there are 5 kinds of a sentence according to their function. Just like may you live long, may God bless you, may you live long, may God bless you, etc. are optative sentences. Thus dear student, there are now kinds of sentence according to its structure. According to their structure, kinds of sentence according to their structure. According to structure, there are 3 kinds: simple, compound, and complex sentences. Simple sentence, compound sentence, complex sentences. Dear student, take care. A simple sentence has only one independent clause. It has a subject and verb. Just like she is writing a letter. It is an example of simple sentence because it is independent clause. It is subject, verb, subject, helping verb, main verb, object. These are called simple sentence. These kind of sentences are called simple. In a compound sentence, dear student, you have 2 independent clause and they are connected with coordinating conjunction at, and, but, or, not. Just like they are rich, but miser. They are rich, they are miser. So they are rich, they are miser. We have connected this by coordinating conjunction and, but, or, nor, yet, so, etc. These kind sentences are called compound sentence because these have been connected with coordinating conjunction. So these sentences are called compound sentence. Now third and last we are talking about a complex sentence. A complex sentence has an independent clause and dependent clause, and these two clauses are joined by subordinating conjunction, just like because, that, when, until, etc. Just like she went out for a walk, although it was raining. Dear student, she went out for a walk although it was raining. This is an example of what? Complex sentence, because one has an independent clause, second is dependent clause, both of are connected with what? Subordinating clause. So these are called complex sentences. So thus dear student, we have studied about the sentence, about phrase, about clause. After that, kinds of sentence according to function, and next kind of sentence according to structure. Dear student, in first part you will get the question which can be asked just like the define of sentence. There are how many kinds of sentence according to function. There are how many kinds of sentence according to structure. What do you mean by phrase? What do you mean by clause? And you can be asked a question in which you will have to separate the dependent clause and independent clause. After that, you can ask pick out the you will have to tell about the kind of sentence according to function, in which you will be provided examples. Just like, for example, you will have to tell what type question this is, means what type sentence this is. Don't pluck the flower, you will have to write this is an imperative sentence. Just like in compound or simple sentence, you will be given a sentence in which you will have to tell is it example of just like simple, just like example of compound and complex. Thus, dear student, we have revised chapter first of your syllabus. I hope you have understood very well. If you feel any problem, you can consult me. Thank you very much.